in this no na mempese be hu se di pa na papa yi Ghana obi ani mi se obo MPP a Kyei Mensah Bonsu parliament ultimate papa inka time chromo opposition or minority. Hey, Ghana force what come out for no just where you spokesperson for Ghanaians. No come on and Mahama say as what you say na Ghana for who tom nti ekoba ne say na kwenya ba yesenka ese wutimi bewuram. Na nka anya hwe kura vice presidential candidate.
On na peso
Papa Yantene.
You do so there na peso busa.
Na mine is on the data. On one committee or down on executive summary ambition and raising some of the bias MPP lose you know. I want him to speak to all the reasons for me.
Okay.
Almost say one delegate system.
Okay.
And now he's reported to have said, say, national chairman contest him Obeko. In democracy, acclamation is allowed. In 2020, President an acclamation. Or say regional and national officers vying for parliamentary race, and one of the reasons. And they build one of the things on Katuru say the leadership style. Where you report on it, so it's not directly him. It's what the 47 constituencies need to buy.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying the leadership style of President Akufo-Addo, which people perceived as single-minded.
Okay.
I'm just quoting the document. Nana almost say an intransigent. Nana say intransigent. Oh, right.
I feel no more.
That's the document. That's what I'm quoting.
But documents I feel no more.
And almost say the perception that the government was controlled by the family of President Akufo-Addo. And the perception that the president single-handedly controlled the party. So, there are four things. The delegate system, the control of the party by President Akufo-Addo, the control of the government by President Akufo-Addo, and why people felt that the governance was single-minded and intransigent.
Four. Okay, good. Jeff project way a recent one, Global Info Analytics for year in Shishemu Kakra, no more person muhu. The Omususu say a contributor to the defeat, the other things. Fatosune project MINE out of 100%, no. And Yoma Bain ena Ekekabo, Mabusia de Koni no data and research. When you say in share for multimedia, Yankaya say a data research and ye de kaya some great and a dahono. Research head Mpacho Boami Kakra. Global Info Analytics Nyoma Omuye. I'll say which of the following individual groups or people do you blame for MPP defeat in the 2024 elections?
Nana when Nana make a comment ni bi ni me nyadwen. Pick any research. And Nana make a subjective analysis bit me by research no. Global Info and Musa Danko predicted MPP will lose the Mekabenya. Abem, which was absurd. And all kind of be a dinatem or predicted percentages and abem. So you can say that it has a bit of momentum. Obusa said, DNT MPP lose the election 80%. So often the pattern at toes, yes, as a babia. Nana her nipa 5,621. MPP in fact research no me Ashanti region nipo mo fa no per numbers are just about 2,000. So meaning that this sample size is even bigger. 5,621. 8 out of 10 say President Akufo-Addo. 9.7 1 out of 10 said Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. Members of parliament and the party executive say 1%.
MPs no be it does confirm the Omoke say. And an Akufo-Addo na no dictate free so ho. Into we MP awe hwan de na beka. MP ni sika, obi ni sika. So then it confirm say Nana Akufo-Addo na dictate nti MP wunye sika. Most of these MPs, even when you are a minister kra na umben the so-called action mafias na, what would happen? Unye bi party executive kra na de ya. Into no kra this be an na ho. But clearly this one confirms I think the report in interest say na Akufo-Addo and I know yes I on to my mekra me sons no problem so can say no problem there no we take Mamini the legend entry and common anyway but Okobisa say Kobia mfa kiss ne ma no mami ona mpacho ummen ni say kakra na intimi in the studio right now the former majority leader, former member of parliament for Swami and former minister for parliamentary affairs. Now down for pan in another Danko Akufo-Addo. Unim ne pa chen inti ene honorable ne introduce komo. Honorable afishapa.
Afin committee afipaso.
Pacho bia boko.
Nyamiadum kakra.
Afin nyina yin hia.
Sa finish ase nche.
But you got 2 months. But so who ye?
Oh, Namiadom, yeah, now it is any make some team who is a big crahami.
Kafra.
Papumbi abomina, may I intiminko.
Oh,
Tea, minim.
You're my own Kafra. I was thinking, wasn't what you want to make a cry? Now, how is life after Parliament?
Oh, life after Parliament hasn't begun yet.
Hey.
It hasn't begun yet. If you can say to a banny, na sani yemra or mamra na say ye presidential transition arrangement. No na meka MPP side no. Anti-free man na Diano. And I mimi bone chidom. And ministers no be and so e ka ho. Nti transition arrangement up to 7th January. And I said him say President Mahama take you over. And no now reports transition meetings and reports near committee and I'm unfortunately I'm the 2 committees be so be 4 committees. Nti in reports and people felt that you hand over and one. But then another 2 weeks and reports no. As I hand over reports no concurrently and you to abani the 7th December near to abano 14th December and I didn't been see that maybe senior motia more casani MPP before we be an area and also so we be sad the original chairman won't to mean so I am one regional executives ni Emma Mokamutipam who said yes no it been see dentino was a human Domote Bason for say about one on in so the Emma could do baby ya nanwene ya bisi hono ya hwehwem sambre no ana ye she asiese ye hwehwemu no say ne amunim no na otwene na no kwasia dei na hwehwemu no nyina ye de bawie ya ye de report no come regional executives ewo kumase ha and inti na make say life after Parliament hasn't begun yet because na say adwuma no so Emma me busy na otwi awie me nuanom say be ma wontete bi me ka MPP for more Parliament so if it's confirmed I think it's Saturday Sunday also me come on hunu bi until I'm going to get busy the following week so ja for some penny for so atoms a friend say me be ma mo me make some more topics bi ho and 2 days bi until me wie sa ne man mi enu a na bia me ka say afei me ba hom jim until then there like I say you must prepare towards those things until me nyanwie me also me wie afei na I need about 1 month. Say me cause me kojima home.
Dumfun no cry or baby.
Yes, na me kobo ho dwa kakra.
Flight mo wabre.
Kobo ho dwa kakra. So bisa near Etienne no. But I'm giving myself maybe the next 3 weeks or so after me years ani me nyina I'll recline na ma kojima home kakra.
Now ka transition team no ho. From that time now till now, John Mahama almost 2 months. Yabefanisa. Obeka den afa ho so far na memu no I know it's too early.
Oh, it's senior working. It's too early because I'm buying bia so person ye proper assessment. Obesha say bia the first 100 days na between assessing ye nemum no mpani so say agrobe ban so if you anopa ti ne mani bi o ha wan hwe ye nso a na when you want to am and son and auntie, it is so many between a brain or my Ghana.
Right.
So it's not done too badly, but many people want to. I will say, come on,
a bit to say.
Well, first of all, sir, already I shall say no. Now, as far as I'm concerned, a dangerous president was it. I'm on mine. The what's the saying? Operation Recover All Loots. See, Minia, time being or say what is our team. Time what is our team. Or a president elect, he had not been sworn in as the president.
Right.
So executive authority was not in his hands. No need, sir, too many additions as a president. The 2 million what they share or they establishes are around. So what say Ubia Lutu Bibia and the tree.
So we are coming, yeah.
A kofuma de bia enya dia or lutu. Until looting in itself, a criminal offense. And before you establish will be a lutu bibi, a court of competent jurisdiction it me say wako lutu.
Yeah.
You remember Supreme Court etra assembly so Emma after the friends say ruling no and Justice Doche Ebeka says the it was a great
loot and share.
But you see, they had established criminality. So makulutu, makuya. In the case of Gena Brakwa leading, now criminality will be established against anybody. The Constitution guarantees the right to own property individually or as a collective.
Yeah.
Be wo ho kwan say ono apene japade. Na se wontimi establish say ni bakona akọ bo krono no de nya de japade na ka say wo akolutu a is serious. What you say? So between say ubidin and the dignity
or say na omo edge information keke. Yeah, more any powers be information or more because na ye to man we no be a casting
first of all, it doesn't even exonerate it. Or information were here. So be a pressure
because
so
be a
Let me say establishing the act of looting can only be done by a court of competent jurisdiction.
But say information there, say me information be na me prosecutor.
Information should be a loot
possibly.
No, also will qualify. Also will qualify.
On qualify, Drew maybe or catch him say on case o munko prosecute be an so many. But on the information, that is what he said.
No, I'm saying yeah kono. I feel debate tare.
There be say obey explain here because we raise this issue.
I'm saying no. Maybe I didn't even want to believe so no way. Until he went to Takrade, say on establishes a committee.
Right.
To recover all loot. So information also will gather is about what? Gathering information of a looting that you think had taken place. Which business a court in establishing?
Yeah.
What you say? And the soldier a police for attorney general or establish or investigating an investigation. A suspected impropriety, suspected looting.
You should say
be obiako yes, and you are investigating. What you say? What they also establishes will be a loot in the information, bro, which in itself was wrong. So the first thing, no. The second thing was there are 3 arms of government. 3 arms of government, and is named the executive, parliament, otherwise called the legislature, and judiciary.
Yeah.
Obi agina na so obi anadwuma. Ohwe article 95 of our constitution. Members of parliament are speaker. Members of parliament are speaker. Me a president bia wo kwa abato so wa hyehyebo. So the party we need there. E bo hye na wa hye no wo pese wo achieve a executing name na wa boss no. Name na pese wo ye no do for parliament.
Yeah.
The Ukraine speak a president be happy speaker sabi o mebu nu be ensini kwan so what you say enti president bia no e interested in who becomes the speaker
right
the bia oni on crop for parliament be di kita hu bi wo eponachi so
yeah
enti na hwan na mo say money dance so say be the speaker oni pass we say ni even anim hey debut mi say kwa we de on mi akra woni me wo problem woni me nka temo de mana obe ha ya ban no obe ha mi ha ya ban no na mo nwini nipa mienu miense mo nwini omo bia ho yi se bia nko mo na betimi aboa o omo se okay de nipa mienu miense mo bomu din so omo so parliament bia rules nko mo nim
okay
to mba mba embarrassing what of this person sanko mu die ne ekoso what you say
okay
we are humans But the moment a president formalizes BB, charging his party for say, vote for this person. Now, but what the parliament nation which is dangerous for our democracy.
Oh, Speaker, Leader Mitwasia.
Yes.
John Mahama,
he charged the caucus.
So be an
someone trouble them Bagbin.
So be an non-competiana.
No, I'm sending Ruho.
Okay.
The people, I can tell you, they were thinking of other people.
No mumpe.
They were thinking of other people.
Other than
Bagbin. I know that for a fact.
Yes,
the moment the president then sets in, and don't forget, for practical purposes, the leader of the party, what you say, directing says say. So now I feel untimin cannot be brave.
But is that new?
It is new. Formalizing it, directing them by a letter. Hey, you know, me catch was say we be in the party for the Gomo Epunechi. What you say? Because you want say what person will manifesto. Never can be implemented. What you say? Until make us say no, comedian, a preaching comedian. Now, which could have been done by John,
right? Because
no one was a member of parliament. That what you say? Never more crata say. Be charging with some say, dear. No trashy.
What trashy say illegal and I say Onisa power to say that.
I'm saying, say, in that case, you are forcing your people, say, money, muhu.
But say in
Parliament 95 no say
more force it.
Saying
more the whip system force ma to the be a decision be
you have to justify.
Okay.
Say at the end no be amunye say. What the president meet me because can we say bo amianka be party for meet me because baby. He say mo na asasma kan ye ntiase. Let's discuss it. What you say? Until I make us say formalizing it on the man
or the paper toast. Banka a train casa and the normal. Okay.
So we are formalizing this idea and I just say what from the executive WBC Parliament, we want to direct Parliament to do whatever you think is right.
Oh, okay.
That is what I'm saying.
I get it
now. The other things, ministers are appointed. There are three ministries be on from my because he's getting it wrong.
Okay.
The majority leader, Ayarega, he should be not only a minister, but a cabinet minister.
Okay.
Why? Because you see, majority leader. Oh yeah, so party or majority and I'm a majority leader. Nti penipa bakwa mu na gina ho ama parliament, that is the house, members of parliament no una ye omunyina ba no deni,
right?
The majority leader no say the leader of the house say what buying o party no ekwa ban mu dia, then you become the leader of government business,
right?
Government business no transactional cabinet. What you say? Abanye dwuma no cabinet na ye bonepo the bobo moon you see is now so we a leader of government business or parliament. That's a when cabinet minister. How can you become the effective leader of government business? At the end of the year, you know, one just from third party sources. How can you lead your troops effectively? So it's getting it wrong there. And yes, even leading the troops. Of course, the Article 78 of the Constitution.
Right.
Ministers, no, President appointed to assist him to run the state efficiently.
Right.
Oko 76 clause 2 no dia or say cabinet ministers no, they assist the president to evolve policies. The policy formulations, the agreement to be now they by a bill now they by BBR they by no underpinned by a policy.
Right.
Policy na one year no. It trimpono until the way but 1 year no. Independent come. And I see the majority leader should be able, as a minister, should be able to summon the colleague ministers into parliament. And they may be PS, they must be PS. But no majority leader no, or elevated a notch above the other cabinet ministers.
But the money minister won't menyana as a majority.
You can't. My friend, no, must be a president.
Leader because you
that is it.
Parliamentary affairs. You are still able to control the people.
No, the parliamentary affairs. Since me be a majority leader, I'd always been the minister for parliamentary affairs.
Really?
Yes, 2017, and I'm a minister for parliamentary affairs.
And no boa.
And the boa. Not only me. Take it back to Osei Champong. Yeah, got to Osei Champong. DH Osei Champong. What I say? He was the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Majority Leader, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, succeeded by Cabinet J, Dr. Cabinet J. The same thing. Now, bomb would mean control over your colleague ministers. You know, so even Article 71 arrangement, you know, whereas members of Parliament are at the level of appeal court justices. So ministers at the level of cabinet ministers, at the level of Supreme Court justices.
Right.
The majority leader is a notch above the Supreme Court justices. All other cabinet ministers were that level.
Oh, okay.
What do you say?
That's so to me be
sir, this is only minister. Then they reduce you.
But someone complaining.
What's the woman complaining?
I won't complain. Say Mahama are going to control woman to mean. For now, no.
I will not make any disclosure.
Okay.
I will not make any disclosure.
I accept it, sir.
Sometimes you can fight your own fight.
I get it.
You'll be our tears, has to speak for you.
But Ghanaians are happy with the fact, say,
why conflicted?
The ministers ne do so nti say parliamentary affairs are na yetimi achieve 60. Na Ghana for any aji because you are doing it for Ghanaians, sir. I mean,
the effectiveness of your government. What I say, and why? But Umiaka say on over 50 ministers.
50.
Yes.
But I'm not sure some parliamentary affairs, baby.
Who told you that?
Anke Beba.
Who told you that?
Sir.
Master, we had sat down 50. No, we had sat down to do alignment and so on and so forth, right?
But why did you accept the 50? If I want to ask.
Because name say between working with 50.
But why didn't you tell Nana Akufo-Addo say 110 want to so between in 50? Because at that time, Namo justify say he's in a hurry with me and all of a sudden within 8 years, now from 101 Majia to say 50. Meanwhile, most of the same people.
Namo justify. They say they're reducing it to me. Did you hear me justify?
Oh, sir. Oh, yeah, authority.
That's okay. Yeah. You didn't hear me justify.
No. But I mean, in general,
in principle, we must talk to the substance.
All right.
And me, na me just between 50 years. I didn't hear. Okay. Constitution, I make Article 76, which talks about cabinet ministers, and no can say between 10, and I say maximum of 19. What it means is that, and I'm catch say government policy be answer no, a cabinet minister, and no can home me. So you see, so more analysis here, more content analysis.
Yeah.
So we constitution here. What it means is that you can't even have more than 19 ministries. John or the about 23. What do you say?
Sir.
President Mahama or the about 23.
Mengenkai was almost 19 to 21. And I say yes.
No, I said 19.
Okay.
Constitution is 19 cabinet ministers.
Okay.
And I may catch now say. Abani person di bibia ba a year underpinned by policy no. Also cabinet minister na nsasha say.
Okay.
So when cabinet minister won't even answer share bibia policy.
I
say.
Okay.
And so until when year you shouldn't have more than 19 ministries and 19 ministers.
Okay.
What
at the cabinet?
At cabinet and in reality.
Okay.
Maybe you may have apart from cabinet ministers, you may have there 1 or 2 ministers of state be. So name be a cross-cutting president meeting the Asha Monza. What you say? And Baumia was going to have 21 ministers.
Okay.
19 cabinet ministers plus 2 cabinet ministers of state at the presidency.
Okay. John
were reduced to about 23, which is commendable. But I'm saying that you could have still done better. But I'm just saying, say, majority that day, I was saying any cabinet minister. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, on Famaya, Mrs. Nabano, there's nobody responsible for national security. The we are saying, you need a minister for national security.
But the defense bit me
On cancer.
Sir.
On cancer. Me aware. Say President Mills by any President Mahama you remember Marco Yongo was the Minister for Interior.
Right.
President Mills time one of the shares some man additional responsibility for national security. John did the same thing. But Minim says the same in he must assign that minister on a substantive minister. Also we're assigning ministry Emma portfolio
as national security operative.
Yes.
Okay.
There should be a ministerial status for it. It is also be a minister for interior and also have that additional year. Fair and fine.
Okay.
But you see, and no we answer our problem.
Are they?
Problem I want to say, because national security yet a different ball game. So I can say minister for interior and national security while elevating above national defense minister.
Okay.
What you say? No, I say super ministry be. That's different.
National security, interior and defense national security as yana.
They ono be coordinator.
Okay.
Na nye mimi enunko. See, enye ma be wiase no. Nipa bone fo ne ma mbeso omo ye bebre no, communications and we use. What do you say?
Yeah.
Especially cyber security issues.
Right.
And increasingly, amani be the national security ministry no share communications and yet defense and interior. Because some of them also they share a vice president inside. What do we want? Which way do we want to go? What you say? Because don't forget, until Rawlings changed your constitution on December 31st, 1996. The baby will change in 1996. Now the vice president was in charge of. He was the chairman of the police council.
But chairman, but the constitution is sanity. Say
constitution amended no. Yeah, any be a refi.
Now then you amended because the one market in India still are no vice president na chairman.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, na amended one you who you.
Amendment no for constitution amendment no. Ebi o ha we nimu. Ebi also wo echiri.
Sir.
But wo fa o the old printing na wo ho. But amendment no ebe kire wo say ye ye free ho. Ebe nimu bi wo so a say na meka bi wo so a wo echiri.
Any dodo na e wa bontin.
No, so look at this. This is the amendments I propose to you.
No, but we the one na wo na ye dey
because you should be have be nimu bi wo so a wo echiri.
Oh, okay. Amendment Act 1996.
Yes, 1996.
Oh, okay.
Look at the date of Gazette. December 31st. We are chiri ha.
Okay.
We are chiri ha. Okay. The date of Gazette.
Notification 31st December 1996.
You talk about we in a Rawlings my son in Sam Car was the vice president.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
and the act him for the about me any articles.
And your police in Kwa, your police council in Kwa, now a armed forces council.
We didn't want you.
I want one thing on the constitution to be.
The Bakuna Tony, the Ghana, why no woman. No, maybe every day you would document. I don't know document. Sometimes using a chinatity and I'm going to say. Really? My dream. Because some copy no crano and mouse are dear. I don't know why. But it's there. Oh, okay. A friend say Article 201. Any Article 206. Any Article 211. 211. And then I almost a son. Oh, okay. Let's say it means that the president the constitution is amended, Article 201. The constitution is amended by the repeal of paragraph A and the insertion of the following: a chairman who shall be appointed by the president acting in consultation with the council of state. And he a police. Okay. Was he a in free? That president now appointed chairman acting in consultation with the council of state. But they name that and then vice chairman. Vice president. Vice president. 206. Soldier. Okay. Was say repeal a chairman who shall be appointed by the president acting in consultation with the council of state. There's a vice president to know ye pania dosho. Prison service. Prison service. Chairman who shall be the president or his nominee. And when the soldier for the president who could soldier. And the amendment that people don't read it. Engineer say be a vice president right now, no. Unless a president cast a vice president, be chairman of the police council. Yes. Other than that, obetime to sue be as well. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just saying, say we need a minister for national security. Okay.
or anye. Number 3, one for Maria, if you say no, be a mistake. Some because the non Presidential Transition Act. So, Presidential Transition Act, no, Emrao.
Okay.
Emrano said there should be a minister responsible for presidential affairs.
Okay.
There's nobody. Until and also be also assign it. Say we appointing ministers of state be also assign back to be in charge of presidential affairs.
Okay.
Because the Presidential Act, Transition Act, said there shall be a minister responsible for presidential affairs.
I don't know, sir, presidential affairs over side.
Oh, sir, you see, I also say Parliament. It means you say on be query near see the presidency.
Okay.
The president himself cannot be invited to Parliament.
Okay.
It is the minister in charge of presidential affairs, and I'll be friend.
Now, intimate chief of staff for Constitution in itself.
No. That person must be ministers that are responsible to Parliament. When you're minister, okay. To be with my chief of staff, once I minister for presidential affairs.
Okay.
To send a Jacob Bishop Bilamte,
Oh, okay.
What you see? So we understand a bit me about.
Okay.
One from the chief of staff, no there. There may be ministers of state in the back, also man, it's our responsibility.
Interesting.
So those are the things that I think are getting it wrong. So, of course, the other thing is also is our termination of appointments. And if it's I'm here with the assembly back. Yes.
What's a moment the amount to me and Kashi and found? Momo dear 2017 and na senior minister Kasa yebe dispose or Kasa be release almost slowly and quietly. No.
Did it happen? It didn't happen.
There are papers that suggest some of them were revoked, some of them were suspended. For example, the head minister, SIBB, was a suspension of health.
People?
I'm talking about senior nurses are something making.
The nurses, people talk about it. You see, the man senior minister at this side and the buy. Now, there was this dispute on some government appointees or these assemblies. Of course, MCs, DCs, MMDCs, now also move system because they are appointees by the president. They represent the president at the various assemblies. Oh yeah, public servants, maybe diplomats, career diplomat, the omonko. But president appointed to represent the high commissioner, we ambassador, be a president appointed when you career diplomat. What you say? But political appointee now they call her president. If you are a baby, some people were confused. They were president. They are saying he should be there. The letter that he issued, was in respect of those ones. Then there were some last-minute recruitment to be, and the justification was that he suspended because he's here skinny home. Until after the budget, we will know the strength. Who said the mobile say there were lots of them who had even supposedly been recruited and no money appointment letters. What you say?
Yeah.
And it was in respect of those people. And now, yes, as we said, most of them who it was proven say had been given appointment letters and had become public servants. Because the Constitution provides in Article 191 say will be a public servant there. Once he becomes a public servant, so he's protected by Article 191. Yes.
Okay.
He's protected by Article 191. The moment the person a letter, so be a public servant, might be a teacher for you do say, okay, 3 months, the first 3 months, but you are a public servant. What you say? The first say you recruit no, now you in India can not mean you in India and
but is it fair, leader? Say Uwo bibi a wonye ntema na wonim say after 7 December wari a obi anim so wari na hona na wo keka nyoma bom in the name of because na no be na sa complaining by and I can play senior ministers they are not complaining say e won nyoma bi wo ho a odo say John Mahama na president no but there are certain decisions they have to be consulted. He was clear on that. So I was thinking say cast transition team and then I remember Felix Kwachi Kachremo say nyoma ni bi wo amo ya or abino our banani jinkamontomoboase. But you did it. Same thing like the senior minister was complaining.
Second, paradoxical. say Kwachi Fusu be cancer because almost Kwachi Fusu na 2017 if 2016 na John a recruitment you raise the issue I raised the issue
okay
and no bar out because me raise the issue no parliament and also a 10-year make but a president is elected to serve a 4-year term
but for the purpose of record who raise the issue ni say
me raise the issue no say me gidi say after election no I to be near President Asha say recruitment or Asha say no I thought it was not congruent to good governance.
Okay.
That is what I said.
Congruent.
No. Oba quickly.
Yeah.
Adechi and Oba can say the president is elected to serve a 4-year term.
Okay.
Now 4 years, no year, 7 December to midnight 6 January.
Okay.
Which was right. We defend the year. Technically he was right.
Okay.
What you say? Na nanui the wo kano enya no krempo say sa recruitment no ye to aba no we no mo ye it's not true because I was part of the transition team. I no mo raise this asem no. Henry Quarte, who was until then the minister for the interior, and because as one more can dey e can ifunu ye can madam pan and the more can do no aba me ministry interior ministry na police fire fire service immigration for but enye ye to aba no ye ne fa wo mo na process is not starting in March e be April be May and ye a body selection ye medicals ye hwan afei na makọ a physical training including the handling of ammunition ye wie ne asan sone so nti afei na ye ma omo ya sone so akoduro no ma omo appointment letters and the process started March, April, May nti nye December no na even some of them no cry November before ye beto aba no and omo de letters ne ma omo. Mr. Kwame Ahoy then raised you say me amoka in tandem with good governance me amasema maka and I must me refer no the Kwachi official bekai our transition team meeting.
Let's do you do me.
No. Our transition team meeting.
Okay.
And I'm raising this asem.
No, no, I'm a kai we be can say.
We can say.
Into we no nya.
I was enti nya na. If the president was elected to serve a 4-year term there, mo kasa to justify it. And then when I'm society you say me inquachiri. Key people are more recruit mo bi any domnovo. I'm on the edge, say. An appointment letter on the 19th of December. Right. More than 2 weeks after say to Abaniwi. And I'm on the 28th December so respond. Say or respond positively. Yeah, the appointment then would take place, would take effect. The day of the month, or the letter number 26 of December. And I'm okay saying they won't start December 28th. NCC for you say a host of people. John Mahama even gave the lease to Nahim Boxai to his brother on the 4th of December. He was right to have done what he did. But you see, that process is complete. Now say Parliament a ratify agreement. If Parliament had ratified that agreement, could be until me say Nahim Boxai to never could be anything make us Parliament ratification and taking place in Tina because the process had not been concluded. Inti Ibrahim inti kofa bauxite. What you say? Inti Mr. Host, that is what it is. Inti me give say we must look into these things. As I was saying, those of them who have been illegally treated, say or terminate appointments. What option is left to them? There are two things.
Right.
Now me come baby say president has sworn say unvictimized will be we protect the freedom of every Ghanaian. Swear oath no can say no.
Yeah.
They say one who be terminate will be appointment and article 191 no say will be a public servant so terminating appointment it should be a just cause.
Okay.
Just cause no usually no ebi wa ye bibi boni a set up committee ma hwe mu so wanye ne ye nti so de yinedi send public service ani no send a mass ana so because of good governance nti is not in tandem with good governance the way you did here What you say? Say no more current transition team no. Accra, one of your sister stations, they frame me, and I can't say no. Good governance, you know, I'm related to no. It's not a just cause. Just cause no. You say why you be born. When you didn't have a, almost a friend saying the national kitty cannot support it.
Are they not right? If Oma Baba Tunum say ye biggest employer, yen timintia, Timuntomboasia. So Nibitia.
Massa. You see, you are creating Sasami, we have seen it. We have seen it too. Busy at time, NDC Apollo 568 in the buy.
Interesting.
Sir, we almost be Yinkophobia, the number here 568.
Okay.
That time, no, American spacecraft be now come so near Apollo 11. So, and nobody said, no, two more human say, we Apollo 568, nobody call court. Omana, we are affected, included the then Sumina Hene.
Okay.
At the time, no, ye Sumina Hene, but no, a public servant. And now, drone map. Omaye, or my Hene. Now, account. Now, almost 13 in my mean. Say, economy no, intimate and fat sancrophone. Number two was say some of them so openly show political coloration, whereas the rule no public servants they are supposed to stay neutral. Until you may be who knows what you made. Nobody call court. Say, and yet just court, and yet just cause. And a court no, a butia by no.
Okay.
And a buzia a beca say, Obi a buying to be in Yajma. Court didn't mean force no say on any Yajma. And we can say no court could force him to work with somebody or no a buy no say won't be in Yajma. That was why Buzia came out with that declaration. No court and Crawford couldn't say no court, no court, no court. I repeat, no court can force me and my government to employ people who are hostile to us or people who cannot be accommodated by the national kitty.
But can be in NDC.
Hey, he was forced to or not as and the court a man orders and compensate them. So
okay,
appropriate compensation had to be paid.
Into John Mahama compensate to him.
They have to be compensated.
Okay.
You see, we must confront this reality as a country. Where are we going? So be back. That's what I say. Don't forget. Nipan be 7th January, 7th December. After 7th December, every November, even October. So also na nyinyi adwuma na MPP for na afa wo mo a e kokoti court na ka say okay ayi John Mahama wo kwan say utimi ene oyeye na that sets a very dangerous precedent for us,
right?
Because NDC for no omo nchiribo ye dan be free so
na masaba
say on free so na say aban for ba na so they offer no utimi nyinyi adwuma also na afa no nti ugina particular so na de fa no nti obi ankofia. Then we are politicizing the public service.
But then yes, sana because there were things and no engineer devil into the MPP matters. I like the idea. I mean, I understand and I appreciate that. But yatina haka say you will never be a more time. Na na kufa do ye ya na kofo susu say or ye two partisan when you may be home into winya emwa Ghana. For example, Domelovoli ya ye. You realize that Ghana for any anjehu any a kwanya or far so a pam a court bua say a kwine crown or far so no. But they insisted. There were certain things you be or don't say okay, this push at the NKS petition Kenya statesmanship. But for example, even the issue of National Cathedral, it was a concern that Ghanaians did not like it based on opinion polls and everything. But the posture of Nana Akufo-Addo was Cathedral and the CIN EBC. And some of these things and narrative, no, and then go for say na no na ye can one sema na e be defending no. And man, it's very difficult for us to also blame the very person na more expected saying be anka Ghana for be two men so. The issue of doom so is an example. That time na ye complaining of doom so no, the narrative around it, the defense mechanism. Now ya baba betu say we know that there's a systemic problem when it comes to doom so, but MPP for ni Ghana do so bad na mum blame John Mahama. And Ghanaians are also saying say na no bi no obi kra to ayampia. So based on their working so I mean from you now you a statesman and debe ni betimi the police are breaking no. Now for once when it comes to issues of certain key national concern na yenye ne partisan.
Oh, minia. Obo domrodi. Mene papa no. Eshia. On adwuma yemu. On my office. Maybe now people didn't know. I even had cause to caution. He said, no, I didn't know what you're yet. But you see, because now I'm out for be brave to me saying people didn't know any maybe because I don't want to talk about those things here.
Right.
Especially when say they met you and they can't be here. You will not have the opportunity to respond.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want to even relate to those matters. Even though some matters be better about things.
Right.
In the Jumayimu, maybe an ecoso, I don't want to go there. Because otherwise, maybe I'll be making some disclosures in his absence.
I respect that.
But having said that, yes, this will be a Fumukuma, will be in Fumuya, maybe. And to say, Bibi Corson running yet. I know come who be near Sassan Baya. That's a Obana says, we in the same year. And what? It doesn't advance the cause of our democracy. Maybe a year corner, what's it me quenimu? Maybe a chain, maybe a general market time. Indeed, that is how I want us to look at it. Say, Bibi Corson runners and ye. Now, can be so na. A cathedral, man for we say, I'm not too sure of what you're saying.
But it's based on CDD did opinion pool. All right, meet you.
CDD opinion pool no, had to do with the source of funding. The cathedral knows it had to do with the source of funding. President now say, on only in Yamina, a pledge to God. So, yes, sir.
Yeah.
What you say? And a chino, a copasa, say, a hushintino, Okofa, or mine seekers what they. That was what people spoke against. So, no, I want to seek and what the yes idea, and I was going to talk about it against it. What you say? And say,
but even when people were talking about that, the president was still insisting. When people did not even love that idea. And
they didn't like the idea of the National Cathedral.
They didn't like the idea of anything trying to even insert public funding. And there are many Christians who said that they already have the churches, so why do you have to build something? Many of the churches were saying that.
America only a National Cathedral.
Say America, yeah, nisika.
Canada only be.
Muska.
Good. So say obidi or no say or yenanko de achomana. I don't see anything wrong with it. What you say?
Yeah.
Maybe near me disagree and say, oh, and maybe near me tears say, oh, yeah. Now, or baby could raise funds any maniama. So, and tea, say, yes, canon so. Now, say, also, baby, Bruno. The Minya and maybe a 2 amana, ye be shasi, and I feel me who say yapim. Yes, or man, so masony. What you say? Now, a month when you tears, no, yeah. God, I still would not see anything wrong with it. And if you ask me, there was lack of, there was some miscommunication first, and maybe lack of transparency. Or maybe raising the funds. And Tina Mamma for maybe buy, say, they be, it's a saying, you know, the Nkayem Penasa. What you say? It's a source of funding. And your cathedral, no, amount for so many.
Right.
The Christian community, make us say about 90-95%. Say you're a privately funded.
Okay.
The disagreement no buy baby enough is cano a beto if you say scan ifriba. That was the prime disagreement.
Now leader with respectfully what for National Cathedral in Nancy?
So baby I'm na me tie ni CBFH.
Ni CBFH.
Nti da bia na me fa ho.
Nti dey na you pull now.
Oh, so dey the chance aje ho nti na me. The chance aje ho nti na me esi ho.
When honorable Osei Kyei Mensah na ehwehwe nkomo enche na in the next 15 minutes no ye betie si MPP mu. Ekwan ya MPP fo efa so elusu ye. Ekwan ya be LPM ne kakra. Ekwan ya MPP fo fa so lusu ye research no den no mo ka adesua bi wom. Ni nyina yebeka ho asem live on Instra 104.5 yema onabo ngina ho me kakra na afi bra yɛnyɛ ne fast na
Absa Bank na wɔn se